Welcome, everyone, to our class today to help you improve your speaking skills. Of course, you want to get out there and speak in English. Speak with native speakers, speak with strangers, speak with anyone confidently and fluently. So, in this class, you'll practice speaking with me to help you learn natural vocabulary, learn correct pronunciation, and feel confident speaking anywhere outside of the classroom. So, what we're going to do is we're going to review a dialogue together. And I wrote these dialogues as natural conversations that native speakers would have using real English, not textbook English, real English. Now, in this dialogue, there are two parts. There's the teacher, which is me. That's the part I will say. And then there's the student. That's you. So I want you to open your mouth and say the student part. But then after, I will say it as well so you can learn correct pronunciation. Okay, so here we go. And our first conversation is talking to a stranger at a cafe. Ooh, does the thought of talking to a stranger at a cafe in English, does that make your heart go like this? Does your hands start to shake? Do you get that feeling in your stomach? Well, don't worry, because if you know exactly what to say, the right phrases, you know your grammar is correct, you know your pronunciation is correct, and you know you'll be able to understand natives, well, you will feel confident. So here's what you need to say. Remember, I'm the teacher and you're the student. Okay, so I will say this and then you say this part. Excuse me, is anyone sitting here? Did you say it out loud? Okay, I will say this and I want you to practice the pronunciation. So repeat after me, shadow my pronunciation. Oh no, go ahead, it's free. Okay, so let's review the dialogue together. Excuse me, this is how you get someone's attention. Excuse me, is anyone sitting here? Is anyone sitting here? Now, I saw a student at the beginning. Let me find it. Jolanta, just to use you as an example, Jolanta said, I'm seating at a table. We don't use the verb seat, we use the verb sit. Is anyone sitting here? Is anyone sitting here? So they're asking if this seat, that's the noun form, is this seat available for me to sit? And then what do you say? Say it again out loud. So here, oh no, no. So instead of just saying no, because is anyone sitting here, and you want to say no, nobody is sitting here, you can just add a little O at the beginning just to make it sound more friendly. Oh no, go ahead. So this is how you invite someone or accept their invitation. Go ahead and sit here. Go ahead, it's free. So it being the seat, which is the noun, it's free. And free means available. Okay, so I will say this again as the teacher. And now that you know the meaning and the pronunciation, you say it out loud. Here we go. Excuse me, is anyone sitting here? Oh no, go ahead, it's free. Now, the conversation is going to continue, okay? So we're not done yet. You're going to keep talking to the stranger because you're going to make some small talk, which is some casual conversation. So I'm going to reply, thanks. Wow, it's really busy in here today. Now you see this part? Did you say it? Okay, let me say the dialogue again. Thanks. So I'm saying thanks for the seat. Thanks. Now I'm changing topics and I'm making a general statement. Wow, it's really busy in here today. So is really busy, to be in here. You need your preposition for in the cafe. So here represents the cafe, in here today. Now say it out loud. Yeah, this place is always packed around lunchtime. So, yeah is acknowledging that, yes, it is really busy. Yeah sounds more conversational. It sounds more natural to what a native speaker would say. Yeah, yeah. This place, this cafe, this place is always packed. Instead of packed, you could use busy. So, to be packed is the same as to be busy. It means that there are many people in a certain area or location. Notice the pronunciation. This ed is a t, packed, 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 around lunchtime. So when is lunchtime? Well, it's the time that people eat lunch. In North America, that is generally between, noon, 12 p.m. Noon is lunchtime. If I had to say only one time, it's noon, 12 p.m. But if I wanted to make a range, I would say 11:30 to 1:30. Between that time is lunchtime. So around lunchtime, it means a little bit before, a little bit after. Okay, let's do the dialogue again. Now, remember, when I get to the student part, you need to open your mouth and say this out loud. Thanks. Wow, it's really busy in here today. Yeah, this place is always packed around lunchtime. Awesome job. You're doing great. Let's keep going. So I'm still talking to this stranger. Now, this is just a little bit of small talk. Why not? I'll keep going. How's the cold brew? I've heard it's good here. Okay, let's go back to my part. How's the cold brew? So let's imagine this stranger is drinking a cold brew. Cold brew is a style of iced coffee. So it's just a style of iced coffee. Okay. So the stranger is drinking it, or it's just on the table and I notice it. So I'm saying, how's the cold brew? I'm asking if they like it. Is it good? Is it bad? Do you like it? Do you not like it? How's the cold brew? Now I'm just making a general statement. I've heard it's good here. So again, here being the cafe. I heard the cold brew is good here. Okay, now the student says, the stranger in the cafe, who is you, answers my question because remember, I asked, how's the cold brew? And the stranger says, delicious, delicious. So we can use, of course, delicious for very good, very tasty. So it's positive for food or drinks. Okay, delicious. One of the best in town for sure. So, this is one of the best cold brews in town. Notice this in town. Town does not refer to country, city, state, town being a small geographical area. No, town means the location you're in. If you are in New York City, one of the biggest cities in North America, you would still say one of the best in town. And then in that case, it means in New York City or in the Times Square area, in the West Village area. So it's whatever area you're in. Delicious, one of the best in town for sure. Now, for sure is just a casual way of saying, I am positive or this is true. Okay, remember, I'm teaching you how natives talk to each other in the real world. So let's do this again. I will be the teacher. And when I get to the end, you're going to open your mouth and say this part out loud. Here we go. How's the cold brew? I've heard it's good here. Delicious, one of the best in town for sure. Let's keep going. So remember, this is a conversation we're continuing on. So the stranger, you told me it's delicious. So now I'm acknowledging that. Good to know. Good to know. I'll give it a shot next time. You won't be disappointed. Okay, so good to know. This is the short form of saying it's good to know that the cold brew is delicious. Okay, so if someone says something and you want to acknowledge it, you can simply say good to know. So maybe your coworker tells you that the meeting is delayed or traffic is terrible on Main Street, and you can say good to know. It's like saying I'm glad you shared that with me. Good to know. Good to know. I'll give it a shot next time. I'll give it a shot. So I'll give it being cold brew. I'll give it a shot next time. This means I'll try it. The next time in the cafe, I'll order a cold brew. I'll give it a shot next time. A lot of people are asking about cold brew, asking if it means beer. It's interesting. No, because the verb is to brew. You brew coffee. So, yes, you can say I'm making coffee, but you can also say to brew coffee, which means to make coffee. So, but just keep in mind that cold brew is the name that people have given to a style of iced tea. Not tea, iced coffee. So, just cold coffee, iced coffee. They've given a certain type of iced coffee the name cold brew. Okay. Just like bubble tea is the name of a certain type of beverage, cold brew is the name of a certain type of beverage, which is cold coffee. Okay. All right. I'll give it a shot next time. And then you say, you won't be disappointed. You won't, the contraction of will not, you won't. Notice I don't push out that T. You won't be, you won't be disappointed. So this, by saying you won't be disappointed, it's just encouraging me to do the activity that the person recommended. And in this case, the activity is ordering cold brew. So if you tell your friend that you just watched a really great movie and then your friend says, "Oh, I'll watch that tonight." You can say you won't be disappointed, just to again reinforce that you think this movie is excellent or that your recommendation is excellent. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. Okay. So you should definitely add that one to your vocabulary. Add all of these to your vocabulary, especially I'll give it a shot. A lot of students are asking. Yes, it just means try it. So you have to conjugate the word try. So in this case, it will be I will try it next time. I will try it, meaning cold brew, next time. I'll try it next time. I'll give it a shot next time. Oh, right. Yes, exactly. You are going to like it. You will be pleased. Exactly. Exactly. No, shot has nothing to do with drinks. So it just means try something. Try something. So you can use it with anything. Oh, I played pickleball for the first time. It was really fun. You should give it a shot. You should play pickleball. You should try pickleball. So whatever it is. Marta says, I gave it a shot. I was not disappointed at all. Exactly. Well done. Okay, so now let's do the dialogue. I will be the teacher. And when I get to the end, this is when you open your mouth and say this part. Here we go. Good to know. I'll give it a shot next time. You won't be disappointed. All right, that was our dialogue for talking to a stranger. Now you have some great expressions you can use so you feel comfortable making small talk. Be honest, even in your own native language, you probably don't like talking to strangers. Most people don't, but why not? It's more enjoyable. Life is more enjoyable when you have conversations with people. So give it a try, give it a shot, give it a shot. Talk to a stranger, even in your own native language. Okay, now let's move on and we're going to do the same thing, but this time the dialogue is when you're running into a friend. So if you run into a friend, it means you see someone you know, a friend, but you weren't planning to see that person. So you accidentally see them. But before we do, make sure you put yes, yes, yes. If you're enjoying this lesson, put yes, yes, yes in the comments. I'm so glad this is your first time. Are you enjoying it? Put yes, yes, yes in the comments. And also like this lesson. This is the best way that you can support me and say, Jennifer, I'm not disappointed with this lesson. So put yes, yes, yes. Like this lesson and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Thank you so much, everyone. I am so glad. Woohoo. Thank you, everyone. All right. I appreciate all of the love. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ariel. Now I'll get a coffee after this. Thank you. Okay. And also, I have this free speaking guide for you where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can go to my website and you'll see it, or you can just find the direct link in the description, enter your name and email, and then this will be emailed to you. I share my best tips and advice in this guide. Plus, then you'll be on my email list and I share my additional tips and advice directly by email. Now, also, if you haven't already, you should absolutely join the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my program where you can work directly with me. And this is a complete program to help you understand real English, native English speakers, and sound fluent in 90 days. So, in the Finally Fluent Academy, we do exactly what we're doing here. You learn real English by studying native speakers on TV, movies, YouTube, the news, everywhere in the real world. You learn the correct vocabulary, the correct expressions, the correct grammar, the correct pronunciation. And then you also get personalized support and feedback from me. So you can get correction from me on your written exercises and your spoken exercises as well. So you can go to my website and just click the link for Finally Fluent Academy or find the direct link in the description. All right, everyone, let's keep going. And remember, now we're talking about running into a friend, running into a friend. So I'll go first. And then when I get to this word, you're going to open your mouth and say the next part. Here we go. Hi, I haven't seen you in ages. I'm so glad you're here. I know. I think it's been a year since we've seen each other. So remember, you're running into a friend. In this case, it sounds like it's a friend you haven't seen in a long time. So, hi, just a friendly way to, if you know the person's name, you would say, hi, Sarah, or whatever the person's name is. I haven't seen you. So, notice the present perfect in the negative. I haven't seen you in ages, in ages, in ages. This means in a very long time. But what does that mean? Well, it depends on your relationship with that friend. It could be 1 month is a long time if you normally see that person every day, for example. I'm so glad you're here. So maybe this is at a party or some event, and this friend you haven't seen is also at the party. And then your friend says, I know. What is this? I know. I know. It's just acknowledging, I haven't seen you in ages. I know. Oh my goodness. I know. So it's acknowledging that it's been a long time. I know. And then they're going on and providing a specific time because I said in ages, which is just a long period of time. I think it's been a year. It has been. This is the present perfect as well, because we're talking about an action that started in the past and continues until now. In this case, the point that we're talking. It's been a year since we've seen each other. Okay, let's do this again. And then when I get to here, you go on to the student. Hi, I haven't seen you in ages. I'm so glad you're here. I know. I think it's been a year since we've seen each other. Okay, now let's keep going. It's been too long. Are you still at Google? Yeah, actually, I just got promoted. Okay, so it's been too long. This is just me acknowledging that I wish we had seen each other sooner, or it's been a long time. It has been too long. It has. It's been too long. It's been too long. Are you still at Google? So in this context, it means, are you still working at Google? Are you still employed at Google? But you can just get rid of the working part and just use at Google because the context makes it obvious. Are you still at Google? Now, we only use this with like large recognizable companies where you can say, are you still at? And then the company to imply working there. And notice it's not a job title, it's a company, an organization. And you use the preposition at in this specific case to talk about the company. And then the student says, or my friend says, yeah. Remember we talked about this before? Yeah is just a casual way of saying yes. Yeah, actually, I just got promoted. So, actually is an excellent transition word. It's an adverb, but it's used to add or clarify information because my knowledge is that this person works at Google in a specific role. But now the person wants me to know that they work at Google, but the role is different. So they're clarifying that with the word actually. Yeah, actually, I just got promoted. Just got promoted. So get promoted is that transition from not promoted to promoted, and it's in the past simple. I just got promoted, promoted, promoted. So this is where you have a role with more responsibility and also more pay. So you make more money. Okay, so now let's do that again. When I get to Google, you're going to open your mouth and say the next part. It's been too long. Are you still at Google? Yeah, actually, I just got promoted. Let's keep going. That's amazing. Congrats. So, of course, I'm acknowledging my friend got promoted. That's amazing. Congrats. Congrats is the short form for congratulations. Now I ask a different question. And do you still live downtown? Now you. For the moment, but we're house hunting. Okay. And do you still live downtown? Because remember, it's been a year. Oh, where am I going? It's been a year since I've seen my friend. So my knowledge is outdated. Do you still live downtown? The last time I saw you, you lived downtown. Is that true today? That's the meaning of still. Now, my friend says, for the moment, for the moment. So this is saying, yes, I live downtown, but not permanently. So this lets me know that things are going to change for the moment, for the moment, for the moment. And you could say for the time being or right now, but we're house hunting, house hunting, house hunting. So this isn't an activity to house hunt. Okay. So the verb you conjugate is hunt. And that's why it's in the ing form, because it's the present continuous. The action is taking place now. We're house hunting. This is another way of saying we're looking for a new house. We're looking for a new place to live. So if a friend asks you, like, oh, what have you been up to lately? Say, well, actually, we're house hunting. So we've been pretty busy. Every weekend, we go to different showings, different open houses. We talk to our realtor every day. We're checking the listings every day. All of that is the process of house hunting. So you can just use the term house hunting to represent all the different activities that go with looking for a new house. Okay, so when I get to the word downtown, you're going to open your mouth and say the next part. That's amazing. Congrats. And do you still live downtown? For the moment, but we're house hunting. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, wow. How's that going? So you can just use, oh, wow. Oh, really? Oh, wow. To acknowledge what the person just said. How's that going? How's that going? So notice that represents the activity. How is house hunting going? How is house hunting going? So you may be familiar with how's it going as a greeting. Oh, hey, how's it going? That's a way of saying, how are you? How's your day been? But here, how's that going? That represents house hunting. So just like how is your day going, they want to know how the activity is going. Good, bad, fast, slow, easy, difficult. How's it going? How's that going? And then the student says, honestly, not the best. Not the best. So just like, how's your day going? Not the best. Not the best. So this is a way of saying it isn't going well. It isn't going well. Not the best. Not the best. Everything we've seen, so everything represents all the houses, but it could be condos, townhouses, regular houses, side by side duplex. So whatever style of house home this person is looking at. So everything we've seen is in the present perfect because it's an ongoing timeline. We've seen is outside of our budget. Ooh, this means it's too expensive. So generally you have a budget for the house you want. So if it's outside of your budget, it means it's more than you're willing to pay. It's more than you're willing or able to pay outside of my budget. And still requires work. Do you know what that means? In the context of house hunting, if a house requires work, it means you have to redo the kitchen, the walls need to be repainted, the floors have scratches all over them, you'll have to redo the floors, the windows are 50 years old, so you have to get new windows. I'm not saying you have to do all of those activities, but you have to do some renovations or repairs. So that's what that word work means. It represents renovations or repairs. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. When I say the word going, you're going to open your mouth and say the rest. Here we go. Oh, wow. How's that going? Honestly, not the best. Everything we've seen is outside of our budget and still requires work. All right. Let's keep going. I wrote this myself, but a few days ago, so I don't even remember what I said. Good thing you got that promotion. This is definitely something I would say because I wrote it, but it's kind of making a joke at the fact, well, if The house is outside of your budget. It means it's more money than you want to pay and it requires work. Well, renovations and repairs are expensive. So I said, somewhat sarcastically, good thing you got that promotion because remember, a promotion means you have more money, but you just bought a really expensive house that requires a lot of work. So that's what I mean by good thing you got that promotion. So it's a little bit of a jokey, sarcastic thing to say. Okay, let me say this again and then you can continue on. Say the next part and then I'll explain it. Good thing you got that promotion. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I gotta run. How about lunch next week for a proper catch up? Okay, yeah, exactly. They're acknowledging the fact that good thing they have additional money because they're going to be spending a lot of money in the near future when they buy a home. Anyway, this is how you transition. So, in any conversation, if you want to transition topics or if you want to transition to leave, just use the word anyway. Anyway. Anyway, I gotta run. Okay, remember, I'm not writing this to my friend and showing this to my friend. I'm talking to my friend in spoken English. Gotta is not a word in English, but it's a natural reduction that takes place in spoken English. And that's why I have it here because in spoken English, I would not say I got to run, I would say, I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. Run means go. I gotta run. Anyway, I gotta run. It means I have to leave. I have to go. How about lunch next week? How about is how you offer a suggestion. How about we watch a movie tonight? How about pizza for dinner? So you're offering a suggestion. How about lunch next week for a proper catch up? So catch up is a noun, it's a something, and it's when two people talk and share news with each other and share updates on our lives. And you do this with friends and family members. So that's a catch up. A catch up. A catch up. Proper just discusses or acknowledges the point that I'm just talking to you very quickly, but I gotta run. So I didn't have enough time to fully tell you about my new promotion, our house hunting. I didn't ask you any questions. So a proper represents a complete or a full. Okay, so let's do this again. When I get to the word promotion, you're going to open your mouth and say the next part. Good thing you got that promotion. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I got to run. How about lunch next week for a proper catch up? Last part. Sounds great. I'll text you later. So this is just the pleasantry we exchange as the person leaves, as my friend leaves. Sounds great. This is my way of saying, yes, I would love to have lunch with you next week. Sounds great. I'll text you later. I'll text you later. So I'm using the future simple because it's a promise or a commitment, and we will confirm the details when, where, for our lunch by text is what that sounds like. I'll text you later to finalize our lunch. Okay? I'll text you later. Native speakers, I'm sure in your native language as well, we don't add additional words if it is obvious. There's no reason for me to say I'll text you later so we can arrange lunch. I mean, that's obvious. What's the point of saying it? Sounds great. I'll text you later. And then you say, talk to you soon. Talk to Talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. So it's just a way of saying bye. Talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. All right. So that's a great conversation. You learned a lot of natural vocabulary in that. So I definitely recommend you watch this lesson again because you are learning a lot in this lesson. You may not realize it, but the vocabulary, the grammar, the sentence structure, the pronunciation, you absolutely should watch this again. Okay, so now we already had small talk with the stranger in the cafe, but let's move on and you can have small talk with a neighbor. So a neighbor for this house, this is a neighbor. And this is a neighbor. If you can see my mouse moving. So the house in the middle, the person directly on one side is a neighbor, and the person directly on another side is a neighbor. But we also use the term more generally, even if someone lives 5 houses from me, I would still consider that person a neighbor. Okay. So, although technically it's the people that live directly beside you, we use all the houses in a small geographical area is a neighborhood. Neighborhood. So, we also refer to people who live 3, 4, 5 houses away as our neighbors. Okay. So, small talk with a neighbor. Here we go. Hi, Donna. How was your weekend? It was pretty relaxing. We just stayed close to home. What about you? Okay, so you see your neighbor. Let's say your neighbor's name is Donna or whatever. Hi, Donna. How was your weekend? Pretty standard. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? Remember the weekends in the past. It was pretty relaxing. Pretty is a modifier. Pretty relaxing. So it's like saying somewhat relaxing, pretty relaxing. We just stayed close to home. So if you ask your friend what they did last night and they say, "Oh, I just stayed close to home," it means that they probably either stayed at home or maybe there's like a grocery store 5 minutes from their house. So maybe they went to the grocery store and came back, or they went to the park and came back, but they didn't go very far. Okay. So we just stayed close to home. What about you? So this is how you can ask the exact same question to the person. What about you? So it's like asking, how was your weekend? What about you? What about you? Okay, so I'll get to the word weekend and then you're going to open your mouth and say the next part. Here we go. Hi Donna, how was your weekend? It was pretty relaxing. We just stayed close to home. What about you? Okay, let's go. When I get to thankfully, you can say the next part. Same here. We got some last minute yard work done, thankfully. Oh, perfect timing. I can't believe it's already snowed. Okay, same here. Same here. So if your friend says, I'm really tired. Same here. So it's like saying, I am too. But in that context, because in this context, it's we stayed close to home. And I'm saying, same here. We stayed close to home. So whatever the context is, I'm tired. Same here. It means I'm tired. We stayed close to home. Same here. We stayed close to home. So it changes depending on what the person said. Same here. Same here. We got some last minute yard work done. So we got some yard work done. This is actually an alternative to saying we did some your yard work because you do work. That's the verb with work. You do work. Yard work is work you do for your yard, for your property. So, depending on what kind of climate you're in, it could be cutting your grass, mowing your grass, raking your leaves, weeding your garden, planting a tree, shoveling the driveway, trimming your trees. All of that would represent yard work. And you do yard work. But notice the sentence structure is just a little different. We got some work done. So even in remember, this is using the word work. So you can use this in the workplace and say we got some work done on the presentation. We got some work done. We did some work on the presentation. So it's just an alternative sentence structure that perhaps you're not familiar with. Last minute means that there's an available time you can do something, and last minute means right before the deadline. Right before the deadline. Now, if you look at the next sentence, I can't believe it has, that's this it has already snowed. So the deadline in this context is you can't weed your plants if your plants are covered in snow. So in North America in fall, there's certain work you need to do before winter. So that's the deadline. So last minute means before winter. Okay, so when I get to thankfully, you open your mouth and say this part. Same here. We got some last minute yard work done, thankfully. Oh, perfect timing. I can't believe it's already snowed. Did you get this contraction smoothly? I can't believe it's already snowed. Snowed. Okay, let's keep going. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet? So, this is based on the season in North America. Christmas is coming up. When you're making small talk with your colleagues, your neighbors, is going to be based on what events are happening. Winter is happening, Christmas is happening. Those are the two main events. So, this is based on that. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet? And then you Honestly, I haven't even thought about it. Have you? Have you? Have you started your Christmas shopping? So, in the present perfect, in question form and in negative form, it's very common to use the word yet. Yet, to acknowledge that even if the answer is no, it's still possible to do the action because it's an ongoing time reference. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet? Honestly, I haven't even thought about it. So the present perfect from the past until now, I haven't even thought about it. It being, of course, Christmas shopping. I haven't thought about Christmas shopping. Have you? Have you? This is in the present perfect, but it doesn't use the verb because it's obvious. Have you? Have you thought about Christmas shopping or have you started Christmas shopping? Okay, so when I get to yet, you open your mouth and say the next part. Here we go. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet? And of course, instead of Christmas shopping, it could be whatever. Have you started the project yet? Have you started your yard work yet? Have you started cleaning your closet yet? Have you started baking cookies yet? Whatever it is. Okay, our next one. Yeah, I decided not to leave it to the last minute this year. Okay, you? Well, good for you. Are you guys going away again this winter? Okay, let's start from the beginning. Yeah. So this yeah means yes, I have started Christmas shopping because the last question was, have you? And it's yeah, yeah. And then I provided the reason why I decided not to leave it to the last minute this year. So remember, the last minute is the last possible time before the deadline. In this case, the deadline is Christmas, December 25th. So the last minute would be maybe the 23rd, the 24th, a few days before Christmas when you go and do your Christmas shopping. So if I decided not to leave it to the last minute, it means I'm starting now because I have an entire month to go Christmas shopping. Okay. And then the neighbor says, well, good for you. Good for you. So just acknowledging you're doing something positive. Good for you. Good for you. Are you guys? Notice in the guys in this case is not gender. It's not for males. Native speakers commonly use guys to refer to a group and it's gender neutral. Okay. So even a group of friends, female friends, will greet each other and say, hi, guys, even if it is all females. Okay. So just it's referred to a group. Are you guys going away again this winter? So going away means leaving the city you're in. So it could be for a short vacation or it could be for a longer period of time. It's unknown. And again means that we did it previously. Okay, so when I get to year, you open your mouth and say the next part. Yeah, I decided not to leave it to the last minute this year. Well, good for you. Are you guys going away again this winter? We sure are. So we sure are. This is like an enthusiastic yes. So if someone asks you, or if you're going to the party on Saturday and you say, we sure are, it's an enthusiastic yes. We sure are. We sure are. We leave at the end of the month. We leave at the end of the month. So just notice those prepositions. Okay, when I get to month, you open your mouth and say the next part. We sure are. We leave at the end of the month. Oh, that's so nice. We have family staying with us over Christmas this year. So, oh, that's so nice. Just acknowledging, wow, that's nice. You're going away. So, just acknowledging what I said. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. We have family staying with us. So, the family will be sleeping in their home. Okay. We have family staying with us over Christmas this year. Over Christmas means the duration of the Christmas period. That's different for everyone. It could be from December 23rd to December 27th. It just depends what you view as the Christmas period. And it also depends what kind of time off you get at work, for example. So over Christmas this year. Okay, I'll say it again. When I get to month, you open your mouth and say the next part. We sure are. We leave at the end of the month. Oh, that's so nice. We have family staying with us over Christmas this year. That'll be nice. That will be nice. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. So just like this person said, oh, that's so nice. I'm doing the same thing. So we commonly use nice to acknowledge that someone said something positive. That'll be nice. So the fact you're having family staying with you over Christmas, that'll be nice. And I see you already have your snowmobiles out. Ah, so this is very winter specific. I see you already have your snowmobiles out. So snowmobile. Do you know what a snowmobile is? Well, it's a vehicle that you drive on the snow, but not like a car, of course. It's more like an ATV, but a snowmobile, a ski-doo, snowmobile. Okay, so snowmobiles out. And out means that they're visible. So this is true. My neighbors in their driveway, I see snowmobiles. So the out means the fact that the snowmobiles are visible, because in the summertime, you don't keep your snowmobile in the driveway. That would be unusual because it's only used over winter. Just like in winter, we don't keep our bicycles or our lawnmower on our yard. So certain things are just seasonal here. Okay. So when I get to out, you say the next sentence. That'll be nice. And I see you already have your snowmobiles out. Yes, we just need a little more snow. Yes. So just, yes, we have our snowmobiles out. So yes is just acknowledging that. Yes, we just need a little more snow, because you need a certain amount of snow to operate a snowmobile. And right now, there isn't enough snow. There's just a small amount of snow. So we just need a little more snow. Okay. So the next one, when I get to 4, you say the next part. Well, be careful what you wish for. Exactly. Very good point. So here, well, be careful what you wish for, because my neighbor just said they want more snow. But when you get more snow, it could be because there's a blizzard, it's freezing cold, you can't leave your house, and there's also a lot of negatives associated with more snow. And that's why I say be careful what you wish for, because there are negatives involved as well. Well, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. And then the neighbor is acknowledging that there are negatives associated with that. So, exactly, very good point. So, very good point when you want to acknowledge what someone said is truthful or beneficial. Exactly, very good point. Very good point. Okay, when I get to 4, you say the next part. Well, be careful what you wish for. Exactly. Very good point. And that's the end of our lesson. So remember, you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can go to my website, jforrestenglish.com, or you can look in the description and you'll see the direct link to download the free guide. Just enter your name and email, and then it will be emailed to you. And of course, you can also join the Finally Fluent Academy. So if you want more lessons where you learn directly from native speakers, you learn how to sound like a native speaker, you learn real English expressions, so you feel confident and you sound fluent and natural, you can get that in the Finally Fluent Academy. And you also become my personal student. So in this lesson, you probably had questions about some of the expressions. You probably wanted to practice to make sure your pronunciation is correct, or you wanted to try using some of the vocabulary in different sentences. Well, you can get that personalized support directly from me in the Finally Fluent Academy. So you can go to the link in the description or go to my website and click the link for Finally Fluent Academy to join and become my personal student. And also put yes, 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 yes in the comments so I know you like this lesson. And of course, like this lesson and also subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming. You're very welcome. Woohoo. Everyone's enjoying this. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it as well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You're very welcome. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your week as well. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.